This is Language Myths, edited by Lori Bauer and Peter Trudgell, made easy video number 2. Myth number 2, pages 9 through 14. Some languages are just not good enough. All languages are different. English and Spanish, French and Russian, Swahili and Arabic. Some languages are used all over the world for all different purposes, such as business, while others are used only in the area or communities from which they originated. Some people believe that the languages used for limited purposes by a limited number of people are just not good enough. 2 arguments that a critic of lesser used languages could use include the following, both taken from Language Myths, page 10 and page 11 respectively. First, a critic could claim that Maori, the indigenous language of New Zealand, is below English in terms of status because Maori is constantly modernizing through borrowing words from English. This argument, however, is hypocritical because the English language does this as well. For example, look at the words garage, taken from French, or algebra, taken from Arabic. Before English speakers had a use for these words, they did not exist in the language. However, instead of renaming the objects or concepts that these words represent, English speakers simply carried the names over. So really, English is no better than Maori. The second example is a comparison between a Swiss minority language called Romansh and German. Quote, German is able to construct clearly defined single words for technical ideas, while Romansh is not. End quote. To better illustrate this, I'll use an English example. In America, we might say truck, while in Britain, they might use lorry to talk about the vehicle that looks like this, while Romansh speakers would use large vehicle that can carry lots of weight to talk about the same thing. Many have championed the use of the vernacular language, or the language or dialect spoken by the ordinary people of a particular country or region. A great example of this is Dante Alighieri, the great Italian poet of the Middle Ages, taken from Language Myths, page 12. When searching for an Italian vernacular to print his writings in, remember, Italy was broken up into many city-states at the time, he decided against printing his works in the language of Rome. This is due to the fact that Dante saw the ways of the people of Rome as full of, quote, depravity and coarseness, end quote, and he translated these beliefs onto the language. There are many reasons that critics have for saying that a certain language isn't good enough. These include, but are not limited to, extensive borrowing of words, which is oftentimes a hypocritical argument, the name given to a particular object or idea, one word versus many words, and sheer personal bias. In the end, however, one must realize that all languages are capable of the same types of expansion of vocabulary to deal with whatever new areas of life their speakers need to talk about.